podcast live where fantasies come to thrive. Diners leading the surreal dive. Cosplay tales come alive. Irrelevant interviews, alright. Understory cosplay night. Talking price of dear fare the flight. Join the laughter, pure delight. Using capes and samurai blades. Conversations twist and fades from spider silk to mermaid braids into realms where logic wades. Irrelevant interviews, alright. Understory cosplay night. Talking price of dear fare to fly. Join the laughter, pure delight. Dreams and costumes out of sight. Heroines with all their might. Antler crowns and fairy tale nights. Thriving in this dreamy light. Dimers takes us on a quest where the oddities manifest. Fantasy world is in our chest. Playful banter is the best. Guessing capes and samurai blades. Conversations twist and fades from spider silk to mermaid braids into realms where logic waves. Irrelevant interviews, alright. Understory cosplay night. Talking price of dear fare the flight. Join the laughter, pure delight. Join the laughter, pure delight. Dreams and costumes out of sight. Heroines with all their might. Antler crowns and fairy tale nights. Thriving in this dreamy light. Dimers takes us on a quest where the oddities manifest. Fantasy world is in our chest. Playful banter is the best. Dimers takes us on a quest where the oddities manifest. Fantasy world is in our chest. Playful banter is the best.
Our Western way of life. Isn't it grand? Peace, freedom, coffee and bread. But what if it's not? Friends, in the future we might have episode 49 of Irrelevant Interviews online. So prepare for the future. The future is now.
Hey!
How's everyone?
Hello!
Hello.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
Very good, thanks. I always start with a question, but I think everybody's gonna say no this time. Who here has previously been interrogated by me?
Nope.
None of you. Yeah. I suppose so. I'm really bad with introductions, so we're gonna get to know each other as we go.
Fair.
Let me get started with Sahri.
Sure. I can introduce myself or... Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. And I started cosplaying 10 years ago, 10, 11. It's not been like a continuous journey. I go on and off as my time permits, but hey, it's been a journey. And I'm from Portugal. Yeah, that's important as well. And yeah, that's it. This is one of those times when you think, hey, something about myself. Who am I? So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, usually I don't ask who are you, but I always start by asking what was your last cosplay?
La Winter Queen from Warcraft. Yeah, and I made some from Tekken, but the last was Winter Queen. Yeah,
What
for a
does the
contest.
Winter Queen do?
Oh, what does she do? Oh, that's the complex question. But she's an eternal one from the Warcraft universe. And as the name says, she's always been there. She's a deity, and she represents one of the realms in the Shadowlands. And she represents the realm of, let's say, rebirth. Like she's part of the cycle of the druids mainly, and she's magical. She's just a magical being, and she's awesome. I'm biased, but yeah, but she's awesome. Yeah,
All right. Have you ever participated in cosplay contests?
yeah. The last one was CWM back in October, and I also tried ECG in 2019. Yeah, and some minor contests here in Portugal, and yeah, I've been mainly in the smaller contests. I've been taking the risk in bigger ones. But yeah, more to come. Excited for the future.
What's the funniest moment you remember during a contest?
Yeah. Um, when I was performing as a crusader from Diablo 3, and I had my flail, and I was like flaunting my flail, like having fun and swinging it, and it just fell apart. It was me with a stick in a hand, and then the flail in the other side of the stage. It was hilarious. I remember I just looked at it, sighed like, really, and then hey, show must go on. So I just swang it without the main piece. It was pretty funny. Now that I think about it, at the time was a little bit, but now it's funny.
All right. Tell me one thing. If you could have a superpower that you could use only once, what would it be?
Oh, flying, flying. I do love birds, so I flying is straight answer for me.
Okay. I'm gonna continue with someone else. Kauks God.
Hello.
Hi. What was your last cosplay?
Last cosplay, I think last cosplay I made was Shigaraki from My Hero Academia, like the very first season look with all the hands and stuff.
What's My Hero Academia about?
It's just like a superhero anime, basically.
Your standard superhero anime.
Yeah.
Okay. And have you competed in cosplay contests?
Oh yeah.
What's the funniest moment you remember during a contest?
Honestly, it's not even. It like wasn't part of the contest itself, but somehow every time I do something, I end up with my power drill backstage. I just think it is funny.
All right. Tell me one thing. If you were a pizza, how many tomatoes would you have?
74.
74. I wonder what the size of that pizza would be.
Pretty big, I guess.
Yeah, one more thing, one last thing for you. Can you tell me how many cosplayers does it take to change a light bulb?
0.2.
0.2.
Yeah.
So one is too many.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. I'm gonna continue with Kiyon.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
I'm Kiyon. I'm from Estonia. I've been cosplaying for about 3 years. I don't know.
3 years.
Yeah, about that. Like
Okay, what's the last cosplay you did?
Raphael from Love and Deep Space.
What does Raphael do?
He's an artist. He paints.
A painter.
Yeah.
And have you participated in contests?
Yeah, I debuted last year.
Last year.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the funniest moment you remember during a contest?
Honestly, I don't remember anything. That's maybe funny. I don't know.
I don't know either. I wasn't there. Tell me one thing. Can you tell me how many cosplayers can fit in a Volkswagen?
About 20.
20.
Depends on the car, obviously.
And in the amount of props they carry.
Yeah.
I was about to say that. Okay. One last thing. Can you tell me what would you use to shave a cactus?
Bare hands.
Bare hands. Nobody needs tools for that.
Yeah.
That's alright. Yukimin?
Hello. So I'm Yukimin from Lithuania. I've been cosplaying for 7 years. 8, I think now.
7 years. That's like what, 2018?
Yeah, most likely. I don't remember.
Alright, approximately. And what's the last cosplay you did?
Last one was Akadin from Love Live franchise. I usually cosplay idols, and Love Live is my main source, honestly.
Alright. Let me do some adjustments here because you're cutting off, but I don't know if it's just me.
It's just you.
Okay. Okay, have you participated in cosplay contests?
Yes, a lot throughout all the years. And the last one was I represented Lithuania in the Europe Cosplay Cup, E2C, that takes place in Toulouse, France. It was in December last year.
December. It was last month,
Yes.
not so long ago.
Yes.
And what's the funniest moment you remember during a contest?
From the recent ones, it was in the E2C backstage. I had costumes with lots of LED lights. So when the other contestants were taking their photos, I was like the lighting for the photos. Like I use my costume as a light source.
Proved to be practical.
Yep.
And generally I have an aversion to using lights on my costumes, but that might be just me.
I really like the LEDs.
Tell me one more thing. If I had an elephant in the refrigerator, what would happen to the butter?
It will freeze.
It would freeze. Yeah, makes sense. One last thing for you. Can you tell me what the moon is made of?
Plastic.
Plastic. I knew it. It was artificial.
Of course. Everything is fake.
Okay, I have one question for all of you. What's the strangest or the most unusual material you have used on a cosplay?
A difficult question.
I can't
Maybe
really.
something edible?
Anything is edible if you're strong enough.
Edible glitter.
If you're hungry enough.
Yeah.
No, not really. I can't remember anything like out of the ordinary.
I mean, like, I haven't used it yet, but I am the crazy person who is trying to grow their own linen to make it into fabric. So I guess that would be it. But like, I haven't done it yet because it's not done yet. It will be done someday. I don't know when, but it will.
It's a process.
Oh yeah.
Progress. A big process. Anyone else? I can think of a couple of my own. Once I used credit card cutouts to harden some armor pieces that are made of vinyl or leather, so since it's a soft material and armor is supposed to be hard, then underneath I covered it with some triangles that I cut out of credit cards, since
That's smart, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a very big predisposition to only think about what's out there, like EVA and Blue. I very rarely look at my surroundings and think, hey, do you know what you would be good at? No, I don't. It's sometimes frustrating, I must admit, because I look at it after everything is done and think, oh my god, that would be such a good idea. I don't have that envisionment. It's a bit. Damn it. I do try to recycle materials as much as I can, yeah. EVA, and once it's cut, it's that shape and it's gone, but like paper, cardboard, I always try to reuse them for structure in case of the stage props. But yeah, that's pretty much about it.
yeah, personally I have used something edible for my props.
Was it
One of
cheesy?
these packs of jelly that you get at the supermarket.
Yep.
mean, if it
As
works,
I
it
said
works.
earlier, I don't like using lights on my cosplays.
Yeah, fair.
I don't want to tamper with the electronics and then thinking about hiding the batteries and all of that. So
Fun though.
maybe once you get the hang of it, yes.
Yeah,
believe
I have your opinion as well. I get frustrated and then I just give up. I'd rather just use the crystals and make it like fake shine. The last crystals I made, I used holographic fabric, and then on top of it, I had Warbler. So it's kind of fake-ish. And the holographic really helped because the lights hit it and it's just magical. But I use literally everything to avoid lens. So it's just no, 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 no.
I've
That's
I
a
get
used
really nice
lots
idea.
of reflective tape.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
holographic is just makes everything better.
Yeah, I had a Falco cosplay from Super Smash Bros. And he has a reflector on his hip. And in the game, it's used to deflect the projectiles of the opponents. And since I didn't want to use the lights, that's where I used my jelly.
Okay.
Perfect.
Smart.
At the moment, we are using edible glitter on the wig.
If it works, it works. You just do
Yeah.
what you gotta do. Really,
Yeah.
that's a part of the craft. Really.
If it doesn't get eaten by insects, that's totally fine.
Fair enough.
That is
Okay, let me ask you something else. Okay, my Instagram gallery wasn't supposed to be about cosplay on the first days. It was supposed to be a travel blog, and that thing kind of stuck. That's why I decided to start inviting international guests to my show, because I like traveling whenever I can. We get greetings from Esteban. Then, so there's something I always ask my guests. What's the farthest from home that you've been in cosplay?
Netherlands.
Well, France.
In 2019. Yeah, exactly.
Netherlands.
Yeah, AnimeCon. I'm not sure if that con still exists. I haven't been following, but it was super fun. I used my gender bent thrall cosplay from Warcraft. There's a pattern here, blizzards everywhere. But it was fun, super fun, and getting to experience a different place, country. It was the greatest thing I've done so far. And I intend to repeat the experience in other countries. It was super fun. I loved meeting people there. It's amazing. So I can see why you like to travel so much, like the experience and the I don't know the feeling of being abroad, and experiencing new things. So yeah, I get you.
Now that you mention it, we were supposed to have one more guest here. She's sick, so she's not able to show up. But she was very interested because she has never been abroad before, and she was kind of planning to travel somewhere this year with me. So she wanted to get to know, to start to get to know people from different places.
Yeah, I see.
That's more or less the sense that you were describing a few moments ago. Getting to know new places, new cultures, new people. Anyone else?
Might have been Germany, I think. I went to Dokumi like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So yeah, I
Germany.
think Germany.
Well, for me, it was France.
France.
I'm sorry, but what was the question?
What's the farthest from home that you've been in cosplay?
Sweden.
Sweden.
Yeah.
NCC?
Yeah, Narcon.
And what's the funniest moment you remember while being in another country?
Nothing comes to my mind right now.
For me, it was the fact they don't accept the tiny coins. We have the cents. We have 1 cent, 2 cents, and 5 cents. They don't accept those coins. And I wanted to play with those coins, and I was so embarrassed when they rejected the coins. Like, that's not money. Why do I want that? I was a bit ashamed. Like, but that's all I have. Because I had the precise amount to pay, but they didn't accept that. That was, yeah, a bit of a shock. That's the one I remember right from the bat. It was funny. Because here in Portugal, we use all the coins. We don't discriminate coins. Just it's money. But yeah, it was funny.
Anyone else? I can think of two of my own. Okay, the farthest from home that I've been has been Estonia, but I remember a moment in Germany. Again, I was dressed as Falco, so I was completely covered. Nobody could see my face. And I noticed that there were some Japanese tourists taking pictures around. And at some point, one of them approached me. You could tell he was really trying to speak German, but he was all shaky, and he could only tell me 3 words like "Kann Foto zusammen," and I was like, "Yeah, you want a picture together? Go ahead." I didn't say anything because I was wearing a mask, but I just nodded. So while we were posing, I tried to tell him in Japanese, "Nihonjin desu ka?" And then the 3 of them, in unison, responded to me in German, "Ja, Japanisch." Dude, I'm trying to communicate in Japanese because ich spreche kein Deutsch.
Yeah, that sounds hilarious. Yeah.
But
They were
what's common with Japanese?
Well, yeah, they were all. I suppose they did an effort to learn German, and they were actually trying to put it in practice. They just got
Sometimes, sorry. Sometimes when like I try to speak with Japanese in Japanese, they kind of, I don't know, they don't understand that I'm speaking in Japanese with them. They're just like communicating in English back until I tell them like I can speak Japanese, it's okay. And only then they switch like to the language.
No, they didn't tell me that, but I think I would have had better chances of having a conversation with them in Japanese than German at that time. Anyone else? Well, since we have a couple of Estonian guests, I'm gonna tell you a story about one thing that happened to me in Estonia.
Go ahead.
It was last year at the Burning Pumpkin Fest. I was on my way out. It was the end of the event, and when I got downstairs, in front of me there was a girl who was cosplaying the exact same character as I was cosplaying, the Joker. So naturally, I approached her and asked her for a picture. She was with her friend, so she took pictures with both our cameras. Everything was fine, and then I decided to ask her if I could interview her on the spot. She said yes. As soon as I started recording, she ran out of English. It was like, so what are you dressed as? Что? Who's your character? Oh, Joker. And what does the Joker do? Joker. I can say it in English.
It was a
Eh,
bilingual moment.
Brain fart.
I ja nie znаю по-русски. What about Estonian? Mina ei räägi eesti keelt. But you said it so good. But that's the only thing I know how to say. That and Casa räägid Hispania keelt. You know Hispania words? Yes. Say something in Hispania keelt. Say, why so serious? ¿Por qué tan seria? That sounds so pretty. Wait, what? Ashley sending her regards. I'm proxying this stream to YouTube and Instagram, but I'm only able to show the comments on Twitch. So if no one else can remember a funny moment while being abroad, I'm gonna ask you something different. Have you ever invested on a cosplay element just for the LOLs? Or just as an inside joke? Or something only the fans would recognize?
Not that I remember of, no.
I haven't.
It's in
Here's
the
the thing.
plans though.
I definitely have, but I like cannot remember like of a single example. But I've definitely done something like that.
Same here.
Yeah, I have one example right in front of me. Recently, I got a Link cosplay from Zelda, but I don't have a sword, and I didn't want to go empty-handed. So I cooked a little something.
Nice. Those details really bring it to life. I believe that because sometimes you just with those little details you bring people to you and you just establish a connection. And as a cosplay, that's one of the most challenging things to do for me. It's like having a connection with the person because I usually cosplay here in Portugal. At least it's not as broad, the WoW community. But when people know it, they really do know it, and they ask me stuff that only fans know, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm surprised that you know that. It's really rare. But when it happens, it's great. It helped me ease my anxiety because I have some sort of social anxiety, and being able to connect with someone with something we both like makes me super at ease. So I do consider that those details are important for me. It helps ease everything in a such busy environment.
Yeah, and in that way, you know who actually has played the game in this case.
Yep, exactly. It's great. I
Another
once
one
had an interaction
involves
with a little kid and his father. I was with my troll cosplay. Obviously, the father was a fan, but the little boy also knew it because he was excited. He was looking at me like, "Oh my god, I know what that is," but he was so shy. He had to ask his father to ask me for a picture. That was one of the most wholesome moments I had because the kid was like grinning from here to here, and it felt great. Even though it was like a gender bent version, you could see who the character was, and they appreciated it. Like, wow, you did what I thought was impossible. But being recognized that way, it's great. It's a little moments.
Another one involves my cheapest cosplay, because back in 2015 I didn't have any Marvel cosplay, but there was a Marvel Expo going on. So I was sure that there were gonna be X-Men cosplays there. So the day before, I went to print out a t-shirt with the logo of the Friends of Humanity, and I made a sign, a cardboard sign that said, "No more mutants." So every time I found an X-Men character, I showed them the sign. That was my
That's great.
cheapest cosplay, like what, $9.
And I think the challenge is also to get or to craft a cosplay that's cheap enough but good looking enough. That's where your closet cosplays really come in. And you can do pretty neat stuff with just your stuff at home. You just have to be a little bit more imaginative. I do appreciate closet cosplays because they require like an extra layer of creativity, like looking at your pieces in the closet and figuring out, hey, this could be used for this and that. And I think that's crazy. I don't have that kind of imagination yet. I never worked for it, to be fair. I work with references and I go hard on them. But I never made that exercise. So I think it would be interesting to just look at my wardrobe and think, what could I make with this? And keep the imagination flowing. I think that's a good exercise. Now that I think about it, that's a good thing to do.
Oh, there's an idea. I've only made like 2 closet cosplays. I'm not a big fan of them.
I used to do quite a lot of closet cosplays back when quarantine was a thing, because like I had nothing to do. I put on a wig and had fun, honestly.
Yeah, true. The quarantine. We really brought ourselves out there with the quarantine. It's so much imagination.
If everybody has to stay at home anyways, nerds, rise up.
Yeah, true. I think we were resilient. No cons, nothing. We were just dry.
What else can you do?
It was a great time for cosplay making, though.
True.
2021 was when I did the first episode of this show online. Before that, I had only done them during conventions, during events. And then episode 9 was the first international edition. So I guess if the quarantine hadn't happened, I wouldn't have invited you here today.
Yeah, it enabled quite a bit because we had to be resourceful in some way if we wanted to keep our projects going. In this case, this project that you have, which is great because you get together a bunch of talented people and we just talk about things and we get to know each other in a way. So I commend you for that. For me, it would take courage. So I praise you and thank you for that. So yeah.
Yeah, I had my doubts localizing the show. Obviously, I ask different things when I know that I'm with my people and we all understand each other. But for example, there are some ingredients or some meals that I don't know if how to translate to English or if you would even be able to recognize. In this case, in this episode, I didn't ask anyone I have it around here. What's your opinion about the price of vegan chicken salad with mayonnaise?
I don't know the price on that.
Yeah, what's the price?
I mean, considering the current economy, it is probably overpriced, but also, what's the price?
Okay, I'm gonna go with that.
The point is that mayonnaise isn't vegan, so it's really hard
You got me
to
there.
know the price of something that is not defined.
Darn it. Yep.
Also, the chicken
You
is
got us.
vegan, but the person is not.
You got us there.
Yeah, it did. Because you focus on the vegan and price, you don't focus about the ingredients. Well played.
Another one that I think it was. It lost its grace when I translated it. What's the importance of mustard in a cabbage cake covered in chocolate?
I'm gonna say none because there's no place of mustard for mustard in the cake. No.
Sounds terrible.
The story with that is that I found a very old magazine with jokes, and on the last page there was a recipe for a cake. It was the title was a cabbage cake covered in chocolate, but one of the ingredients wasn't mustard. But I recently learned that in English it's called annatto. So that thing was listed on the ingredients, but it was never used on the recipe.
Just
And at the very end of the instructions, it said, if you still have the natto around, you may spread it around somewhere. It doesn't matter.
lovely. Just a way to deflect people from that. You just go and then, hey, you know this? Remember this? Forget it. Because I forgot it too. That's the vibe I get. And now I'm stuck on the cabbage part. But yeah.
Well, those are two examples of the localization I had to go through before daring to invite people from other countries. Obviously, the first ones I invited were people that I had already met in the past. When I traveled to Germany, I met a cosplayer that at the time I didn't know she wasn't German. She was Swiss, and the other one was Danish. They were the first guests of my of this show. And then by the end of the episode, I ask each of my guests, if you could choose one person, who would you select that you would consider would accept being on this show? Who would it be?
Oh, you're asking us now. Okay.
It was supposed to be by the end of the show, but since I already asked it, if you already have one name.
I do have a couple of people that would be great guests for the show, yeah.
Then go ahead.
Leo Workstation is a great Portuguese cosplayer. He was actually the one what's the word in English? Oh no, not that moment now. He motivated me to work on a Diablo 3 cosplay, and we became very good friends, and he's very talented. He has won several prizes as well. He has been a judge, so he knows his cosplay. And I also know Juan Arisato. He's also a well-versed cosplayer here in Portugal, and he loves performance. He just loves it. And who else? I have so many. I don't want to overload you, but
That's
these
my
are two
favorite
great
part, the
guests.
performance.
No, Arisato is great at that. The last contest he was in with a group, they went with Spy versus Family. It was not for any international prize, it was just a for fun contest. And they nailed it. It was such a good performance. I don't watch anime, and I loved it. I loved it. I was vibing. I know bits and pieces. I don't watch as a show, but I know bits and pieces, and I was immersed in it. They do. He does know what he's doing, and he also another memorable performance he had was I don't remember the character's name, but it was from The Greatest Showman. That performance gave me like chills. It was great, and they actually were selected for ECG to represent us in France in 2018, 19, 18, 19. It was great. So I think those are two good people to interview, and I'm sure they would be stoked to be here and talk to you a little bit.
All right, send me the username so I can find the correct account.
Yes.
I don't know if the rest of you have any recommendation at this point.
From Lithuanian community, I think Visualaya would be the cosplayer I'd recommend. She's been to NCC several times, to ICL last year. She's a cosplayer for, I think, more than 10 years. I think she has a lot to say.
Same thing, send me the username so I can find the correct person.
No problem.
It can be either on the chat or the Instagram. It's all the same. There was one episode when one of the guests suggested me to put together a few questions that I previously had at random, but they turned out to be all yes/no questions. So if the answer was no, that was the end of it. So their idea was to put them all together so that it didn't create a void. I got 10 questions here that are yes/no questions. That's all you need to say, yes or no. The first one says, can you use a sewing machine?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you the one I have. This is my sewing machine.
Oh,
So tiny.
I actually need one of those for the cons.
me too.
It takes AA batteries, but also a USB cable can feed it.
Nice.
Second question, have you made armors?
Yes.
No.
No.
I've made one and I hated it.
I made 1, 2, 3. 3?
Three.
2.5.
2.5.
Tyrael doesn't have much armor. Mortal Tyrael, that is, from Diablo 3. He only has the shoulder pad and some thumb braces, nothing else. So that's 2.5, yeah.
I made just a little bit because like the only like example of full-on armor I can think of is either Ezio or Arno from Assassin's Creed, and like they don't have that much.
Yeah, you could say I made 1.5. Number 3 says, do you like acting?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
That
yes.
is my favorite part of cosplay.
I struggle with it.
In fact, last year I gave an acting workshop for cosplay. I'm trying to repeat it this year if I
That's awesome.
get the chance.
Nice.
Number 4 says, have you used your own hair for a cosplay?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Only one hasn't.
Only weeks.
Number 5 says, if a ninja falls off a tree and there's no one around to hear it, does it still make a sound?
No.
It does.
No.
No.
Majority says no. Number 6 says, if I own 2 pink giraffes, will I be forced to take harmonica lessons?
Not
Depends.
forced, but I will take it.
Depends.
Hey, I don't know how to play the harmonica, so I'll take it. It's a
Yeah.
new skill set. Hey.
Makes sense. Number 7 says, if you were forest psychologists, would you practice vegetarianism?
50-50.
No.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with that one.
All right. Number 8. Do you think Kirby has any teeth?
I haven't seen it.
I guess he has to smile. So we know.
But that's the point. He's smiling here and you don't see them.
Maybe he's hiding them. Maybe that's not a smile. Maybe it's just a fake mouth. You don't know. You don't know his life. You can't assume.
Never assume.
Never assume. It's dangerous. It's like the same thing with the Diglett. Is it his nose or is that his mouth with a teeth? With a tooth, I mean. You don't know. Is it a nose or a mouth? I'll leave to that imagination.
Number 9 says, have you ever been interviewed by a cosplayer other than me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do not remember.
Don't remember. All right. Number 10 says, have you ever encountered someone dressed as the same character as you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the same con?
No.
No. 2 yes and 2 no. I have, and I was mistaken by the other guy because as soon as he left the stage, he went ahead to the changing room and changed into another cosplay. So all the pictures and all the videos were tagging me where I wasn't anywhere on the picture or the video.
Ooh.
Oh no.
The opposite has also been true, but I'm not aware of that. I was just told that some lady was being tagged on pictures that I was in instead of her.
Yeah, when it's too similar, you just can't tell. Yeah. Yeah, never had that experience, no.
I've had that a few times, because, like, I mean, I used to cosplay Darby a lot myself sometimes too. He's a very popular character. But the best example I can think of right now is when me and my friend were both cosplaying Ralph, and we got the Spider-Man picture.
The famous Spider-Man meme.
That's a good meme.
Yeah, just
Perfect. You didn't miss the opportunity, so you got that in your favor.
The thing with the Spider-Man is that it's relatively recent, so we didn't have that when I was cosplaying Cyrax from Mortal Kombat and I found another Cyrax. So instead of the Spider-Man, we did, let me show you here. This is what we did.
I mean that also works.
Yeah, it does. Lovely.
Those were the 10 yes-no questions. I had something similar. It wasn't on the list, but I had a similar question. Have you ever been mistaken by another cosplayer?
Yeah,
Not that I know of.
Kiyon has.
yeah. I was cosplaying Lucifer from Haspen Hotel, and one local Estonian cosplayer also was cosplaying Lucifer, and yeah. I was tagged when it was the other cosplayer on the picture.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who has had that experience.
I had not with a character, but with my nickname. I'm Yukimin, and on the same con there was Yuki. And during the award ceremony, like I was called, and after me, like the Yuki should have been called, and then they called like me again, and then there was like a confusion of the nickname.
Oh no. Not in a contest.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, I remember once they wanted to take away my prize of a cosplay contest. I had won first place. The certificate had the name of my character in it. I was
Yeah.
already on my way home, and I got a phone call from the organization telling me to return because the first place was supposed to be the one who was announced as the second place, who was I was Cyrax from I was Falco from Super Smash Bros. And she was Tracer from Overwatch. But they were sure that they were mixed up. But
Okay.
Oh.
I wasn't gonna return just because they were telling me. I got a paper here.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
their mistake.
yeah,
So
that's messed up.
They after a few minutes they called me back and they reviewed and they realized that in fact that was a mistake, that I was the winner, so I could be on my way.
Dang. Yeah, that was so unnecessary. I can't imagine how you felt like having the feedback on your way home. You were happy, you were enjoying the moment, and then someone. I don't want to say trying to snatch because I don't know the situation inside, but that's how it feels. I assume, but yeah, I
I don't
can't
know
imagine how you
either.
felt.
I don't know either because the first call wasn't from the organizer, it was from one of the assistants. And I really didn't like the way she talked to me. But I know the organizer is a very nice person and he was reasonable on the second call, and actually he was telling me that I was right, that I was the winner. And the price was $300, so it would have been painful.
Yeah, yeah, can't imagine. Yeah, Oof. That's a kind of a pet peeve of mine. Lack of organization slash accountability for something. It's a bit of a pet peeve of mine, so cringe.
It's nice to have money prizes though.
Yeah, true.
It's
Yeah.
rare.
It
I
is.
take the opportunity every time I can, but it's very rare.
It is. It is. Usually, it's like prizes in the value of something, something. Here, at
Yeah, like
least.
the sponsors, like the
Mm-hmm.
sponsor prizes.
A
So you
typical
can,
sponsor prices.
yeah. I won third prize with my Winter Queen. It was a coupon for a store. Hey, I got the coffee machine. Hey, at least that's something. But yeah, usually it's the sponsors prizes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess the best I got from the sponsors prizes is a monitor.
A
That
monitor.
Hey,
was really nice.
hey, that's
Indeed.
something.
Mm-hmm.
And when they also gift sewing machines, I saw a few Berninas being gifted, which is
That's
cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's really nice.
an EVA and primer. Usually, cosplay shop sponsors
Yeah.
that anime here, so they are everywhere.
Yeah, they
So
sponsor our cons a lot.
Yeah.
hey, it's what they do. It's cool.
Our sponsors are very random. There's a very wide range. I didn't win that, but I know in one of the contests that I competed, one of the prizes was a certificate for a university, like taking a course totally free.
Ooh, that sounds
Um,
nice.
Yeah.
on that contest, I got third place, and all I got was a kunai from Naruto. It's metal, it's heavy. That thing, it seems like a real weapon.
Sounds nice though. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Real
not
metal.
sharp, but
That's rare.
it's heavy.
Oh yeah, I bet. I got, well, we all got t-shirts, a few trinkets like keychains, the coupon, contact lenses, which is good. Um, I could choose any, so prescribed ones, yay. And yeah, actually the contact lenses were great because I could really switch the ones I was using for Winter Queen that time for new ones, so I was like blessed.
Nice.
Um, yeah, it was cool. It was the first time I had contact lenses as a prize, so yay.
I've had contact lenses as well a long
Yeah,
time
I've
ago.
had, but we couldn't choose. We just got them.
I could choose. They just, let me see if I remember. I think they had a limit in collections, not in price, but certain collections you couldn't choose from. Everything else was pretty much up for grabs, so to speak. From Pinky Paradise, it was the first time I tried that brand. I was pretty satisfied.
That's really nice.
Yeah, even prescribed ones, I get really afraid of it because I can't see. I'm legally blind as well, so I can't really see. So it was a blessing that they worked out for me.
There's another thing that reminded me of that time when I won that first place that I told you about. Have you ever arrived at a convention just to realize you're missing a piece of your cosplay?
Yep.
Uh, not exactly, but last Unicorn we did a thing where basically all of us dressed as JoJo. But here's a little thing: I haven't seen JoJo. I still cosplayed from it because we did like an opening ceremony thing. But later I wanted to switch cosplays, and the moment I started to either put on the JoJo makeup or take it off, I don't remember. I realized that I left my entire makeup, like suitcase, at the Airbnb or hotel or thing.
Yeah, the makeup.
I was just running around backstage, like looking for my friends, like help.
Yeah, oh, I can't imagine the stress.
It wasn't too bad. Like I wasn't up on stage later that I just wanted to switch out of cosplay, but
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Uh, the thing I forgot was not an essential thing. For me, it meant something. So it was like not a something people could see. Only I knew I had that. It had some special meaning. But that's one I can remember. I once forgot part of a wig. I needed to deconstruct the wig and apply it in stages because it had the horns. It was for Inter Queen. And I forgot my bobby pins.
oh,
They, yeah, I was pretty bummed, but fortunately, bobby pins are common in backstages. So I was a little bit bummed because I know how stressed people are backstage, and me asking, "Hey, can you lend me this or that?" I know it can put a little bit another layer of stress. So I didn't want to ask, but my helper was like, "Go ask, go ask. Don't be. People are here to help if you need." And I went a little bit shy, but I went. Uh, yeah, it was fun.
Anyone else?
I forgot my wig once to the Airbnb and quick taxi, and I had it.
You had time.
Yeah, I had. I wasn't competing and everything, so
On the event that I was, Falco, it was a 2-day event. On the first day, I was gonna be Cyrex. So I brought the whole armor. I went to the changing room. I was putting everything on. The last piece before putting on the helmet is a black mask to conceal the exposed parts. So I had the helmet in hand. I had my backpack. I had the bag where I was carrying the armor. Started looking for the mask everywhere. Couldn't find it anywhere. I was in a changing room, all dressed up, without the mask. I just thought, I'm not gonna go out of here half dressed. So I took it all off. I put it back, put back everything in the bags. Then I went out looking for a friend or someone who had a spare black t-shirt that I could use on my face for a while. For some reason, I couldn't find anyone who had an extra black piece of fabric. Then I was near the guest cosplayer area, and I turned around, and there was a shop. It was a table. It didn't have any sign or anything. It was just a table with a bunch of merchandise, and they were selling ninja masks. There was a black mask there. It kind of resembled the typical Mortal Kombat masks. So, give me that thing! Ow!
The stars have
Right.
aligned.
Lucky.
He was lucky.
Yeah. Now I have two masks. The original mask, I found it when I arrived home. It was under a chair. At some point, it might have fallen to the floor, and I didn't realize.
Yeah. Amidst the chaos. Yeah.
Yukimin,
Yes.
have you had any experience like that?
Well, I usually forget the bottom bit also, so I just go ask all the other players. But as for the costume part, I don't think so. I couldn't think of anything.
All right. a few moments ago, a couple of you gave me the names of the cosplayers you would suggest to be invited here. What about the rest of you? Do you have any names that you had come up with?
Honestly, so many cosplayers from here have already been here, so that like I'm kind of drawing a blank.
Yeah, same.
Have I already invited that many Estonian cosplayers?
Estonia is a tiny country. Like maybe some. I don't know if you would be up to it.
Sam,
but-
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
You have a lot of great cosplayers.
I'm thinking Laura as well.
Good work.
Okay.
Oh, same thing. Send me the username so that I can find the correct person.
So that means we were also recommended by someone.
Sorry?
Were we also recommended by someone? Like the people here right now.
Some of you, yes. The rest of you were. I don't know if they were Instagram suggestions or how I know Kauks God was suggested by someone.
Yeah, because I'm a bit insane.
Gwendolyn.
I think
Cosplay
maybe.
by Chaos.
Cosplay by Chaos. Sahri was recommended by Carmi's Cosplay Caravan. I don't remember how I started the interaction with Kiyon, but
I followed you. Yeah.
All right. And Yukimin, I think it was a cold call because I don't have any. I have Estonians who have recommended me Finnish cosplayers, but I don't remember anyone suggesting me any Lithuanians.
We had few Latvian cosplayers here. I think
Sure.
we're like a big community in the Baltics.
Yeah, I'm noticing. Maybe since, as you said, they're small countries. It might be easier to travel between Baltic countries than because we are small countries, but it's really hard to travel between Central American countries.
Yeah, we're.
That's one of the
Sorry.
that's one of the things I love about the European Union. That you can cross a border and not even realize it
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
until you notice that everybody is all of a sudden speaking another language, and you need subtitles on your restaurant menu.
That's true. We're having an event in a week, another weekend in Latvia, Riga. So I guess well, a lot of Lithuanians will go there. Also, I believe some Estonians will also go there. We will all meet.
WinterCon?
Yeah.
Yep. Con Crunch is happening.
Same.
Yeah, I actually realized you were doing it for Unicon.
Mine is looking at me.
May the Concrunch gods favor you.
Yep, we're all on the same boat.
Yeah, this year will be an IATA's year for me, so I send you my empathy. I understand that all too well.
Much needed.
You got this, guys. You got this.
Probably.
But make sure to rest, though. Don't push it too hard. But I'm suspicious here. I can't really. I can't really advocate for this all too well.
That's one of the reasons why I hosted this episode today, because someone from the Baltics warned me that next week was gonna be they were gonna be unavailable. Some of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Probably whole Baltics community will be there because we have like lots of performances. It's like more than 100.
Yeah.
That's another thing I love about the European Union. It's not only easy to cross borders, but it's affordable. Nobody is charging you departure taxes. Nobody's asking for your passport. Nobody's sending you the dogs to sniff you all.
Actually, one time when we were going back from Riga, someone actually got on. Like we were all on a bus at the time, and someone actually got on the bus and like checked all of our IDs. I don't know why it has never happened again, but something was going on, I guess.
I
That
think
happened
they
to
do
me
check
once.
the buses.
Hmm?
Yes, sorry.
Go ahead, Yukimin.
Yeah, so I think they do check for the bus.
No, not usually.
Really?
Yeah.
Because once I actually forgot the password when I went to Riga. It's not a foreign country. I just forgot, and I couldn't ride the bus because they checked for the IDs.
Oh, the.
That happened to me only once when I took a train from Germany to Denmark. There were officers asking for passports to all the passengers. But again, that was only once. On the way back from Denmark to Germany, nobody cared.
Yeah, they don't even check if you go by plane.
No, not usually.
Yeah, they don't.
Unless you have like lunch, then I have gotten like my ID checked, but
It's
I
convenient.
think I am only left with the surreal questions that I missed during this episode. You may have noticed that I have a logo that resembles a deer with feathers. That's my classic question, something I asked since episode 1. Can you tell me the price of 1 kilogram of deer feathers?
100,000.
no.
Deer has feathers.
I say 100,000. Euros, dollars, who knows? Depends on who you ask.
Depends on the exchange rate.
Exactly. But stick with the 100,000. That's important for later.
Depends how dear the feathers are.
Pun intended. Yeah, sometimes I ask about elk feathers, not to create that confusion. Coming back to the cosplay related stuff, what's your favorite thing about cosplay?
Getting to be someone else for the day.
Getting to
I can
learn
relate.
literally everything.
Everything?
Yeah, like I told you before, like I grew linen to make it into fabric. The fabric, I'm learning and doing it. Right now, I mean, I'm working on a Victor cosplay. I had to burn like a lot of fabric for that. I had to work around with silicone a bit. I had never used that. Learn to uh, then like learn metalworking. I haven't gotten around to it. Like I want to do. I want to learn. I'm gonna do. I don't know when, but I'm going to.
What
Yeah,
about the rest of you?
for me, it's also that you can learn lots of different techniques. but also really like going on stage.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah, stage.
yes, but like I can live my idol dream.
I love the stage, but also I grew up in a theater, so I might be a little biased.
You're in your
It's so
element,
scary
yeah.
every time.
I didn't grow up on a theater, but I've always looked for theaters. Or when I went to the university, I joined a theater group. Then, when I left, since I was far away from there and my new environment was unknown to me, the closest thing I found was cosplay, and that's how I ended up here. But 10 years ago, I was taking acting lessons on a theater nearby, and a couple of years ago, I was taking acting lessons for film. I had no idea how different they were.
Oh yeah, they're different.
One more thing. Have you ever arrived at a convention and found a cosplay you wouldn't have thought someone would even conceive to do and left you impacted?
Yes.
I mean, kind of. Like some time ago, not too long ago, but like during Halloween, actually, like last year's Halloween, I was in Vienna and I saw like a Space Marines 2 cosplayer already, like full armor and all. The game just came out. I just was there. How?
Yeah. Mine was right when I was starting. It was like baby cosplayer, and I saw this war machine from Iron Man, and I'm like, okay, praise, that's amazing. The helmet opened and the machine gun rotated. I was completely blown away, and here I am now. That was almost one of the things that started it all. It was my first Comic Con here in Portugal as well. It was my first experience in a con, so everything was a wonder. But that moment stuck with me, and actually, that cosplayer is now a very dear friend of mine. So we eventually found each other in a way. It's super cool. He taught me a lot as well, so it's kind of full circle.
What about the rest of you?
I have more of a funny one. Like if you ask what was the cosplay like, I didn't think I'd ever seen at a con. So one friend of mine cosplayed Ali Delphi. I'm not sure if I pronounced it correctly, but the YouTuber, if you know.
For me, it was Fairy Godmother from Shrek.
I know what
I
you
was,
mean.
yeah. I was like looking at it, and I was like, whoa, what the heck?
Yeah, like I remember, like I saw that on stage, and like
Yeah,
it was like in the it was just like in the movie, like the whole dress was sparkly. It was like
the wig
Was
was
that this
huge.
year? 2024. Was it this year that you saw that? This year,
Yeah,
2024.
maybe.
yeah. It
Probably
wasn't
they were the Portuguese.
Nivecela though. No, it
No?
wasn't
Okay.
Nivecela or something.
Okay.
It's their name. I don't remember exactly the name.
Okay.
It
Because
was
they
local.
were, yeah, that was the Portuguese, cosplayer group that went with Shrek for, it was in France, for ACG. I don't remember the con name, but they brought that as well. Yeah, it was fun.
In my case, it's nothing too impressive, nothing out of this world, but it was a character from an old game that I still want to do someday. But since it's an old game and it's not very well known these days, I wasn't expecting to find someone cosplaying Manny Calavera from Green Fandango.
Yeah.
And he was even accompanied by another character from the game. So that made me see that it was possible. I was okay. It wasn't the way that I would have imagined making it because he was missing. For those who haven't played it, in Grim Fandango, basically you are the Grim Reaper. So
Okay.
he has a scythe. But the thing with that scythe is that it's foldable. You can store it in your coat. So I kept thinking, how could I possibly make something like that? And I never did that character, but I saw the guy that he didn't have the scythe, but he had the outfit of the season 2. It's four different seasons. So he had one of the outfits of the character, and he was next to another character of the game, and he was like, those are my goals.
Well, guess that's a challenge for you then.
Maybe.
Who knows? Who knows? I get it. When you see something that you really want to do and think, maybe I don't have the means now, but it just stays in backlog until you are ready to try it and craft it. So don't give up on that idea. Even though it's not as popular, you should do what really makes you happy and smile. Those are the moments in which you can bring out the character the best if you really love it. So don't give up on that idea even though it's not popular. I get you, I do, but don't give up.
I always do. Right now I'm dressed as the Fallout Vault Boy, but generally I host this show dressed as Sheo Gorath from Skyrim, which apparently not many people know around here. So I'm kind of swimming against the current, going against the grain. But it's my favorite character of the Elder Scrolls, so I love it. And in fact, the costume is already all degraded because I've been wearing it way too much.
Understandable, yeah.
There's one question that one of the guests suggested me, since many of you are comfortable acting and being on stage. Do you have a personal process before playing a character?
Not really.
Usually when I'm building the cosplay, I tend to listen to the OST of whatever game I'm working on, and that keeps me in the mood. Even in the day of, I just pop on some headphones or earbuds and just listen to the OST to get me in the mood. I don't listen to specific one-liners. Just the ambience music gets me in the mood.
Yeah, same. Like at the moment, you're like podcast.
Podcasts.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I don't think I have one, but there's one movie I always remember. it's not the greatest movie of all. It's called The Master of Disguise. But there is a scene when the main character has to repeat the mantra, become another person, become another person, become another person. And then he gets in trouble, he gets chased away, and while he's running, he's, stop becoming another person, stop becoming another person.
Well, for me, if we're talking about the stage, I'm really nervous before going on the stage. But when I stand on it, and if I see people with the light sticks or cheering, it really gives me energy, and then I believe I can make the best performance when the audience is cheering. Basically.
Hmm.
During the workshop I gave, what I told the people is that the audience wants to see your character. So you need to leave yourself at the backstage and bring your character. Show it to them, present it to the audience. I don't know. I don't know if that's the way to convey the message, but in reality, what I kept saying during the whole workshop was tell a story. If you're gonna leave out of this workshop with only one thing, may it be these 3 words: tell a story.
Yes.
No
I
matter
agree
if
with
they
that.
give you 15 seconds or 3 minutes, make sure to tell them a story.
Yeah. I think, in my opinion, sometimes that has more impact than the whole Shazam of having lots of props and lots of flash and a flashy video. Sometimes a very simple skit, as in visual, is more impactful if it has a really good story and if it can compel the public to be there and to appreciate it. Yeah, I value that more. Maybe because I have the struggle to build a compelling enough skit, and I rely a lot on backstories and lore of games. So probably I'm biased there. I don't tend to go outside of my bubble. So that's something I want to improve. But yeah, I agree with the tell a story part. Definitely.
Another thing I was telling them was something that I noticed during one of the contests. That I had just got out of the stage. I was performing the Ginosagi from the horribly slow murder with the extremely inefficient weapon. And there was one guy from the catering area. He was selling coffee. He wasn't part of the audience. He wasn't an attendant. He was just there selling coffee. He told me that my performance was more interesting because it made sense. It wasn't like those guys with spiky hair and a huge sword that just go 3 laps around the stage and then that's the end of it. But it actually told a story. I had recorded myself as a narrator during the skit. On that contest they granted me like 2 or 3 minutes. And I wasn't just standing there while the music was playing, or I wasn't making repetitive movements while the video was playing a much more interesting video than my personal actions.
it's also really important to make a skit that the audience that don't know the reference would still understand what's happening.
Exactly. That's my point. I just noticed that we're past beyond 1.5 hours. You already gave me the suggestions for potential prospects here, so I cannot already put an end to this episode. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut the transmission on Twitch. You don't have to do anything. If you can and if you want to stay here, you don't need to do anything. I'm only gonna put an end to the show on Twitch. So as I always say, everything is relative except that which is absolute. In that case, it'll be absolutely relative. See you in the future or in the past.